first give you an introduction of myself. I am Hira Quraeshi, a certified trauma-informed senior lead from UK, and also a student of Humanistic Integrative counseling. So, okay, this is a part of the mini-series that we will be doing on the Aster group for you all, regarding the topics on mental health that should be talked upon and that should be brought into the light, जिनके बारे में बेसिकली थोड़ी बहुत अवेयरनेस हमें रेस करनी चाहिए. अच्छा, आज का टॉपिक जो मैंने चूज किया है, दैट इज कॉल्ड इमोशनल रेजिलियंस इन चिल्ड्रन, व्हाट इट इज एंड हाउ टू बिल्ड इट इन चिल्ड्रन. अच्छा, पहली बात तो हम ये समझ लेते हैं कि इमोशनल रेजिलियंस है क्या चीज. रेजिलियंस बेसिकली है क्या चीज? वो एबिलिटी जो इंसान को मुश्किल वक्त से निकलने की या उससे लड़ने की बेसिकली ताकत देता है. दैट इज कॉल्ड रेजिलियंस. सो द एबिलिटी टू अडैप्ट टू एडवर्सिटी, टू बी एबल टू कोप विथ चैलेंजेस एंड बेसिकली बाउंस बैक फ्रॉम सेटबैक्स, दैट इज कॉल्ड resilience. I think Rabia, there's a sharing link coming on your screen if you want to share this live session. मेरे पोस्ट में भी अगर आप उस पोस्ट को भी शेयर करो फरियाल के जो ग्रुप पे था, तो आई थिंक maybe people can join from there as well. Okay, so basically that is what is called resilience, and adding emotions to resilience is basically how your emotions can help you in facing adversity, right? So basically क्यों develop की जाए emotional resilience? The first and foremost reason for building emotional resilience is it helps in building the foundation for lifelong mental health and mental well-being. Basically, I call it mental well-being because emotional resilience really helps a person to be stable in their mental health, right? Let me give you an example. एक example से ज़्यादा बेहतर हम समझ सकते हैं. चलो, हम आज बच्चों की बात कर रहे हैं, तो मैं एक बच्चे की मिसाल देती हूँ. For example, it's a child who is 10 years old and basically they have joined a new school. और उनको नए स्कूल में एडजस्ट होने में प्रॉब्लम्स आ रही हैं because the family basically has moved from another city and they have shifted to a new school. अब ये चेंजेस बच्चों के लिए, हमें तो बज़ाहिर लगता है कि यार बच्चे हैं, सही हो जाएंगे, ठीक हो जाएंगे, बच्चे क्या फील करेंगे, बट दैट्स नॉट द केस. व्हाट आई बिलीव इज चिल्ड्रन आर have their own identities. They are little human beings, what I call them. So when the family supports the child, when the child learns how to cope with their feelings, when they are going through loneliness or insecurity, and when the family basically supports the child, that is when they develop emotional resilience, right? And with time and with the passage of time, with communication, the child starts to learn to make new friends and they become more confident in their own abilities. So that is basically what emotional resilience teaches a child, how to cope with difficulties, right? Basically आज का सेशन जो है वो इस importance को जो है वो it will bring into light the importance of emotional resilience and what is basically an understanding the role of parents, caregivers, and basically the school in nurturing resilience in a child. So I hope यहाँ तक it's a bit clear. Let me know if you have any questions up till now, and we can take it up from there. Okay, so emotional resilience, दो लफ्ज़ हैं, right? Let's start by understanding what are emotions. बच्चे को समझाना what are emotions, it's basically like playing a game with them. बच्चों को ये सिखाना, teaching the child to identify and label their emotions is very important. If a child is happy, they should identify the signs as to what makes them happy, what feeling they're feeling inside is making them happy, if they're sad, if they're angry, and vice versa. This is how putting the right label to the right emotions is very necessary for a child to be able to recognize those emotions. I was reading this really amazing book, and उसमें रेफरेंस दिया हुआ था ऑफ द डिफरेंस बिटवीन नर्चरिंग फैमिलीज एंड ट्रबल्ड फैमिलीज. सो बेसिकली नर्चरिंग फैमिलीज में होता ये है कि द कम्युनिकेशन इज ऑलवेज ओपन, राइट? द चाइल्ड कैन कम एंड टॉक टू देयर फैमिली अबाउट एनीथिंग अंडर द सन. किसी बारे में भी कम्युनिकेशन इज नॉट रिस्ट्रिक्टेड टू अ फ्यू टॉपिक्स, राइट? और ट्रबल फैमिलीज में जो डिफरेंस बताया हुआ था वो यही था कि कम्युनिकेशन इज वेरी रिस्ट्रिक्टेड. बहुत दबे दबे लफ्जों में कम्युनिकेशन होती है. सो बेसिकली इफ यू वांट टू डेवलप अ नर्चरिंग फैमिली, always have an open communication with your child. Tell them the difference. Tell them, identify the problems. Nurturing families की एक और खासियत होती है कि they know that life will have problems. But the point is how you as a family will deal with those problems and how you will create creative solutions to those problems, right? Troubled families में फर्क ये होता है कि वो प्रॉब्लम्स को अवॉइड करते हैं, राइट? दे आर लाइक कि बस प्रॉब्लम जिंदगी में आए ही ना, विच इज एक्चुअली नॉट पॉसिबल, राइट? आई थिंक वी ऑल अग्री टू द फैक्ट दैट लाइफ इज फिल्ड विद अप्स एंड डाउन्स. यू जस्ट नीड टू नो हाउ टू डील विद देम. द ओनली पॉइंट इज द डिफरेंस between nurturing and troubled families is how you deal with those problems. So again, resilience is built in a child when they know कि भाई problems आएंगी, but we have the skills and we have the tools to deal with those problems, right? So that's basically the difference. एक और चीज़ जो हम कभी कभार as a society या as a parents भूल जाते हैं, how to validate emotions. Can anybody give me an example of validation of emotions in the comments, maybe? What does validation mean to you, basically? Anybody knows what validation is? For example, a child is coming to you and he or she is crying, he's throwing a tantrum, basically. It can be because of any reason. उसका favorite toy टूट गया, गिर गया, they got hurt, but they are coming to you and they're crying their eyes out. Full on tantrum throw हो रहा है. How would you validate that child? So basically what validation means is, yeah, it's okay to feel sad and cry. Just saying it's okay to cry, yeah. Exactly, because you are understanding what the child is feeling, है ना? और उसको ये समझाना कि भाई it's okay to cry. Even if it's a boy, boys can cry also. It's okay to cry, है ना? So that is called validation. Understanding your child is going through, an overwhelming experience. That is called validation. And providing that space to your child so they can express freely in front of you because you are validating them. This is the first and very essential tool that you can give to your child, which builds resilience, is that the child knows कि भाई मैं जाऊंगा अपने family के पास and I will be heard, I will be understood, I will not be judged, right? For my emotions. That is what basically you're teaching your child through validation, is that they have a safe space to come to express themselves. Emotions को वो दबा के नहीं रखेंगे. On the other side, if you see, अगर बच्चे की emotions को हम validate नहीं करेंगे या उसको understand नहीं करेंगे तो बच्चा क्या करेगा? वो उस अगली बार वो उस emotion को अपने अंदर दबा लेगा, right? They will not be able to express to you, they will not be able to communicate to you. What that happens, then the child reverts to other coping mechanisms, right? आपसे नहीं बात करेगा, किसी और से जाके बात कर लेगा, जिसको वो समझता हो कि वो बात सुन रहा है. Now everybody again does not have their sincere heart to every child, है ना? So and other coping mechanisms can be like reverting to drugs and whatnot, if a child does not feel that he has a safe space to go to, you know? So that is the first thing that you can do for your child to build resilience, is validate their emotions and help them also recognize their emotions. Okay. The second most important skill that I think children should have is of problem solving. How to basically teach problem solving to a child is not to be there for them all of the time. एक तो आप ह्यूमनली पॉसिबल नहीं है कि बच्चे के लिए आप हर जगह आप लोग अवेलेबल हों, राइट? एज पेरेंट्स इट्स लाइक नॉट पॉसिबल. But what you can teach to your child is problem solving. Encourage your children basically to think of, creative solutions to challenges that they might face in life. Basically, have an open communication. Okay, bhai, life में ये problems आ सकती हैं. What is that you can do to overcome that problem? Help them think. Help them understand, right? Okay, or even if it's a problem that they are facing in their life currently as well, sit down, have a talk, brainstorm. Okay, how would you come up with solutions? इससे होती एक और चीज़ है. I don't know if you all have heard of the term called growth mindset versus fixed mindset. Growth mindset में होता ये है कि when you think of creative solutions to problems, the mind eventually tunes into the growth mindset. कि ठीक है, if I have something, I have a challenge I'm gonna face, or maybe like facing some emotional turmoil as well, I should know creative solutions to that problem, है ना? इससे होता है कि बच्चे का ग्रोथ माइंडसेट बनता है. अगर if you yourself give solutions to the child, that will only develop fixed mindset. कि ठीक है, अगर रोना है तो उसकी एक ही solution है. That is called having a fixed mindset. No, you should have a growth mindset. The child should have a growth mindset. You should sit down, talk about how different ways you can come up with solutions to a problem. Basically, and that helps, gives a child a learning opportunity as well. एक ही problem के हम अलग अलग solutions भी निकाल सकते हैं, which are the right ways to go. Also, it's a good thing to teach a child to basically learn some coping techniques themselves as well. It could be deep breathing exercises. It could be like meditating for a simple, a little bit, sitting down, thinking about yourself. Journaling is a very, very good way of, regulating your thoughts and your emotions. Painting is a really good way. Art therapy is a great way. Or even, just ask your child, what do you feel you'd like to do when you are, facing challenges? Any kind of activity that the child enjoys and can be therapeutic for them, it's a great way to build resilience. Any questions up till now, guys? Have you ever felt the need for emotional resilience when you were a kid? Can anybody give an example of a situation where you felt you were facing a challenge? Had you had the skills of emotional resilience, would you be better able to cope with it? Anybody? Anybody feel that they need emotional resilience in their life? Has anybody ever faced bullying? Or has their child faced bullying? Ever? और आजकल के ज़माने में तो आई बिलीव बहुत सारे केसेस सुनने में आ रहे हैं ऑफ बुलिंग. सो डू यू थिंक if a child is emotionally resilient, would they be better able to cope with bullying? Because I do believe that they can. If we provide children with the right guidance on how to basically resolve conflict if they're having with their peers, yes, Rabia, and I would love to hear how did you cope with it? How did your daughter cope with it? Because basically bullying has, real bad after effects in adult life as well. So that's what I was saying. If we give our children the right tools, बच्चे को guide किया जाए on how to resolve conflict, basically have assertiveness skills that can be taught to children, how to basically अगर उसको हम आसान लफ्जों में कहें, how to stand up for yourself, yeah, how to be confident in front of other people. That is basically building resilience, and then a child can really stand up against bullying as well. That's why I think teaching children resilience at a younger age is very, very, very important. Also, having a very strong bond with families, whatever the structure of the family is, that's regardless, a very strengthening bond should be present. Rabia, I am first of all so sorry to hear that, but yes, bullying is a very, very impending topic that is actually very real, which should be talked upon, and that is one of the major reasons I am here on Ask Perry talking about resilience, is so that our children can be able to face challenges like bullying and be able to come out of that trauma, basically. So as I was saying, building strong family bonds is very, very important for a child who should know that there are positive relationships within a family. How you can build that strengthening bond is by spending quality time, again, actively listening to your child, having empathy, having respect for your child. जब बच्चा ये वैल्यूज अपने घर से सीखेगा तो उसको पता होगा बाहर जाके भी कि सही गलत क्या है, कहाँ पे उसको रिस्पेक्ट मिल रही है, कहाँ पे उसको रिस्पेक्ट नहीं मिल रही है. बच्चा खुद डिफरेंशिएट करना शुरू कर देगा. वंस दीज वैल्यूज आर इंस्टिल्ड फ्रॉम विद इन द हाउस, फ्रॉम विद इन द होम ही इज लिविंग इन. Yes, Rabia. So how did your daughter deal with it, Rabia? How did she basically show resilience? छोटे छोटे बच्चों के साथ आजकल इतनी बुलिंग हो रही है. ग्रेड 1 में बच्चे कितने साल के होते हैं यार? अराउंड 5.5, 6 years old. And that's what I'm saying, young age से बच्चों को सिखाना बहुत ज़रूरी है. Addressing bullying at a young age is much needed in order to avoid bullying in the future, and also for children to understand that they can stand up for themselves. Good one, Rabia. Yes, good one. Yes. That you have to do your own part. Yes, that you yourself have to be nice. Yeah, be helpful. Again, these values come from home, right? These things are taught from home. Only then can a child be better able to cope with the outer world, right? Exactly. That you are always there for you. Your child should know that no matter what happens, unconditionally you are there for them. Great. That's a great support system to have for a child, I tell you. Also, children should be allowed to take on responsibilities and make decisions that are age appropriate. What do you think? Do you guys agree with that? Because I believe if a child is independent in making their own decisions, they are much more confident in later life. They can, address a lot of challenges on their own. Exactly. That's how a person then again learns to be happy on their own too, because they are so confident in their own selves. They start believing in themselves that it's basically, teaching them how to be happy in their own self. That for sure. Amal is no doubt the favorite student of everybody. Mashallah, she is. That's because she has been given that strength and support from the family, right? Okay, coming back to the skills. We talked about having open communication, building that safe space with a child, no judgments, talking about the topics that we should let them know about, giving them proper guidance. Also, they should have social connections, right? Children should be encouraged to build friendships and support networks that are outside of the family as well, right? There can be friends, there can be relatives, there can be grandparents. That support system which is outside of the family as well is very much encouraged for building resilience in children. जो कि फिर बच्चे को समझ भी आता है कि यार, even if I'm not at home and I'm outside, I still have a support system I can lean back on, right? Even when they're facing challenges. Okay, and then इसके अलावा हमने बात की they should be given the opportunities to take up responsibilities. We should celebrate achievements, right? Recognize when the child is also behaving in a proper way. That can also be celebrated. Apart from academics, हम बच्चे का क्लास में अच्छे grades आना तो हमेशा celebrate करते हैं. Why don't we celebrate the behaviors as well? है ना? That is a great way of reinforcing and recognizing which emotions are appropriate in which way. No matter how small that behavior is, no matter how big that achievement is, we should celebrate the little things in life, Always, as Rabia also told about her situation, always give encouragement and support to your child. Unconditionally, positively regard them. Give them that constructive feedback also. Or let them know what's right and what's wrong. Basically, that's a great way to boost a child's confidence, right? Acha, if we, teach emotional regulation to a child, we as parents should also know that we need to be emotionally regulated as well before we teach that to a child, है So model healthy coping strategies that you yourself are role-playing. Teach them effective ways to manage stress. Again, as I mentioned, it could be anything. It can be from journaling, it could be art therapy, it could be playing games, it could be going out for a walk, it could be going for a long drive. Anything that works for you, anything that works for the child is a great way of, role-playing those coping strategies. Letting some stress out is always a great way. Then again, I talked about empathy, practicing empathy, helping the child understand that empathy is a way of knowing your emotions, knowing what the other person is feeling, knowing if you behave in a certain way, it will affect the other person as well. So teaching empathy is key in building resilience. अब बच्चे को समझ आती है कि भाई मेरे कुछ एक्शन से दूसरे को भी तकलीफ हो सकती है या मेरे कुछ एक्शन से दूसरे को खुशी भी मिल सकती है. So teaching empathy is extremely important and doing it from a young age is also very key. ताकि adult life में they do have those coping skills. Teach them self-calming techniques as well. Just, ask the child if deep breathing works for them or not. If it doesn't, just maybe like taking a break, going out of that overwhelming space can also help them. Okay, any questions up till now? Just keep them popping in. I can see the comment section. I hope that this session keeps on being interactive. Another interesting way of building resilience in children is by doing some activities with them, basically, such as storytelling. Storybooks is a great way of teaching emotional regulation, resilience to children. If you guys want, I can put up a list of good books that teach resilience to children. तो बच्चों की story books हैं कुछ बड़ी अच्छी. So I can put down a list for you guys to later refer to, and read those books, teach them, उनसे discussion करें after reading the book what they learned from that story. Great way of teaching resilience. उसके अलावा you can even do role playing games. For example, you guys can have this challenge between you both and role play it out कि किस तरह से अगर बच्चा वो challenge real life में face करेगा तो how would they react to it. That would be a great way of you also getting to know what they think is right and wrong, and उस तरह से बच्चों के जहन में बड़े अच्छे से बैठ जाता है कि किस वक्त किस तरह से behave करना है, right? Again, आजकल ज़माना है स्क्रीन्स का, वीडियो गेम्स का. इट्स बिन वेरी अनफॉर्चुनेट कि हम जो हैं अपने सिर्फ स्क्रीन पे जो हैं अटैच हो गए हैं. आउटडोर प्ले एंड आउटडोर एक्टिविटी हैज़ to do a lot with mental well-being. Enjoying physical activity actually promotes, good hormones in a brain. Good chemicals do run up to the brain, and once the brain is in that state, तो coping skills भी अच्छी हो जाती हैं. So do encourage outdoor play for children, right? And always teach them optimism. Always ask them to be grateful. Or maybe just keep a gratitude journal. We also in schools we have those like gratitude jars where children just write down what they're grateful for and fold it up and put it in the jar. Maybe refer to it in the bad days. Okay, bhai, we also have the good days. So being grateful is also another amazing way of building resilience in children. So, having these tools in a child's box is also a great way of teaching resilience. Any questions up till now? I will just be recapping what we went through in this session, in this half-an-hour session, because I know it's a weekend and ज़्यादा लंबी session सुनने का ज़्यादा किसी के पास weekend में time नहीं होता. So I'm just going to keep it short and to the point. Also, let me know if you want me to do any other topics on the group, so we can get back to it in maybe in the next weekend or something of that sort. There are some amazing movies also that the children can watch. By the way, अगर कुछ बच्चों को reading का books का शौक नहीं है, there are some amazing movies out there as well that you can watch with your child. Have a movie night and after the movie is over, just have a discussion around what they think the movie or the character was facing challenges in, and what did you learn from it. So just little things, step by step. I would say just take baby steps and instill these values in children, and it can have a long-term effect on the child. So yeah, basically let's just recap. Yes, Rabia, I will share the list of books and movies after the session is done. I will have it all put it up in a post for you, so you guys can refer back to it whenever you want to. Okay, so let's just take a short recap. Yes, I know Farwa loves books, so I'm going to put up a list of some amazing books for them that you can read together with your child as well, because that's what I actually recommend. Read it together with your child, so you both तो इससे bond बड़ा strengthen होता है बच्चों के साथ, and दूसरा the child is better able to understand the moral of the story once they read it with you, right? So let's just take a small recap of what emotional resilience is. It's basically the ability to adapt to adversity, to jump back from challenges, and to basically have the right coping skills to deal with life's ups and downs, right? Why developing emotional resilience is important? Because it promotes mental well-being. First and foremost, it helps the child to basically stand up for themselves during challenges. Adult life में उनको बहुत आसानी हो जाती है. Coping skills उनके पास जब होते हैं, they do not revert to bad habits. जब बचपन से हम उनको इमोशनल रेजिलियंस सिखाते हैं, राइट. द रोल ऑफ पेरेंट्स एंड केयर गिवर्स एंड स्पेशली स्कूल्स एज वेल is very important in developing emotional resilience in a child, because he eventually overcomes the challenges which they might be facing due to any kind of trauma or anything. It can be bullying, it can be a transition, it can be emotional turmoils or anything, right? So first and foremost, recognizing emotions with your child is very important. Give the right labels to the right emotions. Encourage open communication with them. Make them be problem solvers on their own. Basically, let them come up with the solutions to the problems they are facing, and then maybe you can guide them onto what's the right way to go. You can practice some relaxation techniques, whichever works for you. Again, whatever works for your child. It can be breathing, it can be meditation, it can be taking a walk, it can be enjoying a movie, or maybe just having a good meal together, right? That can be therapeutic. I tell you, it's therapeutic for me. So yeah, and always create a supportive relationship with your child, even if it's not the best standing at this point. It's never too late. So just strengthen your connection with them. Encourage them to have social connections. Let them make their own decisions. Support them in their own decisions, right? Age appropriate decisions, I would say. Celebrate their achievements. Celebrate their right behavior. That goes a long way. A child knows that I will be understood, I will be appreciated for the right things. So always give encouragement, empathy, gratitude, calming techniques, everything, every little bit thing. Engage in activities that you guys enjoy doing. Do storytelling with your kids. Role play the challenges. That will also teach you a lot about how the child is going to react in adverse situations. Keeping a journal, basically, just emphasizing the importance of them being heard, them being understood. And remember, building emotional resilience is a journey. It requires patience, it requires consistency, and it requires unconditional support from you. By implementing these three things, you will be able to give your children the power, basically, so they can navigate through life's challenges with confidence and resilience. So yeah, that's what resilience, basically emotional resilience is. So it was a pleasure having you all listen to this session. Let me know, give me feedback on how did you like it, and if you want me to do some other topics as well, or as part of this mini series of sessions, do let me know. Do leave it in the comment box. Do let Faryal know, let me know, and we will be more than happy to have these sessions again and again. Thank you so much for joining. I hope that this video is also available for when this live is over, so you can watch it later as well. Thank you so much, guys. Have a great weekend, and Monday is coming. Schools are going to open again, so have a great week ahead. Allah Hafiz.